The next person we have coming up is a personal friend of mine. His name is JR, POCC, Minister of Information. This brother is fighting a real war against not only the media, national security, but against trumped up charges, because he is also one of the Oakland's 100. We were out protesting in honor of Oscar Grant and the violation. But this is my brother, JR.
Thank you. First thing I want to say, I want y'all to clap it up for Noel and Shayla. They haven't, they've been doing a great job, as well as all of the different people who have presented today and who have also been a part of making this happen. Katrina and some of the people, Tanya behind the scenes that are making a lot of these moves happen, Marina. And secondly, I just wanted to give props to some of the warriors in the community that are out in the crowd that are not necessarily a part of this program, such as Pierre Labossiere of Haiti Action Committee, who is in the house. And also, I wanted to say a little bit about Richard Brown. I don't, feel like we talked enough about Richard Brown. I mean, I know that this is Mumia's birthday, but Mumia is a symbol for our struggle. Richard Brown is one of our local Mumias right here, with the San Francisco 8. He has a case going on right now in the San Francisco 8. I know he just like Mumia, he rarely spends a lot of time speaking about himself in the predicament, but these are 8 elderly black men, most of them former Black Panthers, that are facing trumped up charges, and if convicted, could be facing the rest of their life in jail. But as the people, we can't allow them to be convicted. We have to get involved. And the same way we support Mumia, let's support the San Francisco 8. So, and other political prisoners, I just want to say a few names just so you guys can reference them. Some of the people that you guys may or may not be familiar with. Marina Drummer is here from the Angola 3 committee. Where is Marina? So, okay, Marina's back here. But from the Angola 3 committee, some Black Panthers that are still locked up. 2 out of the 3 still locked up in Angola concentration camp. You have Aaron Patterson of the POCC. You have Imam Jamil Alameen, Matulu Shakur, who Lynn Stewart, who spoke earlier. She worked on his case. He's locked up still. And there's a number of other people. So I just want to make sure that we are celebrating Mumia's birthday, but also realizing that there's a number of other Mumias that we have to celebrate. But now to the man whose birthday we celebrate. I think it's very important. A lot of people talks about Mumia's journalism, and I think that is important, but the most important thing about Mumia is the fact that he makes his journalism work in the interest of the people. It's not just eloquent words and artsy words put together, but it's words put together to crystallize a fight in people's mind and show us the power that we have as people to change the reality that we living in. And a lot of times I think that people forget that part of Mumia, and the fact that Mumia is a freedom fighter, not just a writer, and not just a freedom fighting writer, but a freedom fighter that writes. So I think that that's very important. He wasn't somebody whose political education just came when he was just writing about MOVE. That was an important chapter in his life, no doubt. But Mumia was a Black Panther. Mumia was involved, and that's why I wore this shirt too today. A lot of times we forget the contribution of Huey P. Newton to even Mumia's development. And we sitting right here in Oakland, California. I think it's very important to mark that aspect of Mumia's life too, in his community work, in the Black community in particular. In Philadelphia, he talks about in some of his other books. I know this is a book party for Jailhouse Lawyers, but we want freedom, uncensored, all things censored, freedom for our fathers, all these different books that Mumia has. I hope that you guys will get them, so I'm not going to take up too much more time. I just wanted to read this part. This is especially so for those, this is on page 52 for y'all that have the book. This is especially so for those prisoners who are conversant with the language of black history, a language for which the law holds little mystery or awe. Students of this language, a language of the dispossessed, recognize that millions of people were held in brutal bondage legally, that there were indeed separate laws for Africans in a land that proclaimed its founding principle to be freedom, that the law that quote-unquote preserved inequality reigned then and has since only changed its outer garb and occasionally its public discourse. Yet where it counts, it remains essentially the same. The vicious draconian slave codes that covered the South like a shroud re-emerged in the aftermath of the US Civil War in the form of black codes, which, as scholar, activist, and former political prisoner Angela Davis explains, criminalize such behavior as vagrancy, breach of job contracts, absence from work, the possession of firearms, and insulting gestures or acts, replacing the slave codes of the previous era. The black code simultaneously acknowledged and nullified black people's new juridical status as U.S. citizens. The racialization of specific crimes meant that according to state law, there were crimes for which only black people could be, quote unquote, duly convicted. Given this specific history, it is no surprise that its legacy has bled into the present age, and who can deny that the law is, in essence, a repressive instrument of the rulers to keep the ruled in line. I think that, that's an important statement, to look at. I mean, even though we're looking at a book called Jailhouse Lawyers, look at what he's saying about the law. So I mean, I want us to, not just think that we can lawyer our way to freedom. We didn't lawyer our way into this predicament, So I think that that's a very important point. But at the same time, not diminishing the work and the scholarship and the importance and the intelligence and creativeness of these jailhouse lawyers.